Conditions and exclusions apply.
You need an accurate thermometer to check for fever, a potential sign of flu or COVID. Be vigilant and contact your medical provider at the first sign of fever. Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer has been proven accurate in more than 100 clinical studies. Exergen Temporal Scanners are available at Walmart and other fine retailers. Learn more at Exergen.com. That's EXERGEN.com. Exergen is changing the way the world takes temperature.
Since President Biden started his
Some sustainable options for your holiday tree this year. That's coming up on This Land of Ours.
Shrimp, grouper, stone crab, oysters, clams. That's just a sample of the great seafood that Florida's Gulf Coast is famous for. Fresh, wholesome seafood caught by fishing families that for generations have taken great pride in their work. No gathering is complete without delicious Florida Gulf seafood fresh from the docks. Remember, when shopping or dining out, ask for fresh from Florida seafood. That helps our state's fishermen and our local economies.
Floridians are fighting back. We're coming together to do our part. Getting a vaccine can protect not only you, but your loved ones too. It's easy, it's safe, it's effective. It doesn't matter where you live. If you are eligible to receive the vaccine, there's a vaccine available for you. As we get back to normal, let's do this together. Learn more at floridahealthcovid19.gov.
Real or living Christmas trees are the dream scenario for the holiday. Unfortunately, some Christmas tree farms have been known to use pesticides, which oftentimes pollutes local water sources and puts animals in harm's way. The other issue is that cut trees become trash and end up in landfills. A good option for those interested in an artificial tree is to take the second-hand route. Artificial trees that have only been used once or twice and can be relatively easy to find at thrift stores or the various online outlets such as eBay or Craigslist. Or you might consider the unconventional route using alternative choices. For example, making an artificial tree from scrap lumber, material from tree pruning, newspaper or cardboard, and any other number of repurposed items. An even better option for those with the space and or interest is purchasing a potted Christmas tree. I'm Kathy Isom, Southeast AgNet.
When it really counts, depend on the source for the latest weather updates, keeping you ahead of the storm. 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
Today will be windy with a couple of heavy thunderstorms into the early afternoon. Cloudy this morning, then clouds and sunshine this afternoon. Storms can bring damaging winds, even an isolated tornado. High today 74 to 78. Then rather cloudy tonight, low 55 to 57. Wednesday will be partly sunny, high 66 to 70. Sunny on Thursday, high 67 to 72. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Holly Wilburn.
Just in case you don't know, there's a real Italian bakery in Ocala. The name is the Magnolia Bakery. Cannolis and traditional Italian pastries, and they're famous. Italian cheesecake too. And they have hot and cold lunch Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 3. When you spend $8, you get free pizza dough or bread. So call your order in ahead and save time. Call 352-207-2667. Magnolia Bakery on North Magnolia Avenue in Ocala. 352-207-2667. Merry Christmas and God bless.
Auto repair with personal care. We know what we're talking about. Matt Gibbs and the guys over at Sunrise Automotive will treat you right. We'll treat you right.
That's right. It's time for Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Auto repair with personal care with Sunrise Auto. Matt Gibbs in studio with us this morning. Matt, good morning.
Hey, how you doing, Tom?
Not soggy like it looks like outside.
No, it's right.
We need this kind of rain.
Yes,
though.
we do.
We need. I got ants and everything, and they come out when the dry comes out. They're trying to take over my subdivision. I need the rain. I needed the rain.
It's raining.
It is raining, and rain pretty good. It's rained pretty good. So,
started last night, right?
Yeah, which is, with rain, and we go into the rainy season after we come out of winter. We go into the rainy season and this morning, as I was coming down the road, I did the 2-and-2 change, and a lot of people do this because of the cost of rubber these days. I had 4 tires I needed new tires, but 2 of them were a lot worse than the other 2. So I took the two that was best, put them on the back, and put brand new tires on the front. A lot of people do that.
Yes,
That's
sir.
common practice.
Yep.
But now it's time for the back two to get replaced, because when I touch the tread, there ain't much tread there. It's not a slick yet, but it's close. And so this morning, as I was coming down the road, I was worried. I go, I know it's a front wheel drive and everything, but in a front wheel drive car like that, with the tires on the back, that there's a little tread on them, but not much. Explain to me. I know it's not okay, but am I still safer than I would be if it was a rear-wheel drive car, and why?
Well, if it was a rear-wheel drive car, I would tell you to do it opposite.
Right.
So you would have the better tires on the driving force.
On the back, right.
But the good thing about front-wheel drive car is that that's where it's pulling from, right?
Mm-hmm.
And also that's where it's braking from. So,
right.
The front does 70%, 80% of the braking is actually coming from your front. But if you
Here we go.
But if you were to get in and you could hydroplane.
Right.
You can, and your car is equipped with anti-lock brakes, which right now probably
it's not working. Right now it's not working because there's a recall.
That's right. so that means if you got into a situation and you hit the brakes, you're not going to have traction in the back, and whenever your wheels lock up, whatever direction you're going,
that's where you're going.
That's where until it stops.
That's where you're going.
Until it stops.
I know about once you start sliding. I did a Nissan hard body pickup on black ice on the Blue Ridge Parkway. Until it stops, you're just at the mercy of the spin.
That's exactly right.
You can shift gears and try to make it grip and everything, but once you spin, till it stops, you're pretty much spinning.
Pretty much.
Now, with that being said, though, I've only got about 8,000 miles on these new tires.
Okay.
Then they would go to the back, and then brand new ones would go in the front.
And really what you should do is what I tell customers is every other oil change, rotate your tires.
Every other, so I go about 5,000 miles on my oil change. Okay. So about every 10,000 miles.
Rotate them.
And those touring tires, which touring tires are what I have to run on that, because I tried to go cheap one time and not put touring tires on it, and it doesn't ride like a Cadillac when there's not touring tires on it. Yes. Who knew that tires could make that big a difference?
Oh, they make a big difference.
But touring tires cost a little more.
But you always get what you pay for.
You do,
especially nowadays.
And I don't buy the Goodyear, but this is a brand of tire that's made by Goodyear.
Okay.
It's a knockoff of Goodyear that Goodyear makes. They just don't warranty it the way they would warranty their Goodyear tire and everything. And people sometimes don't realize that rubber companies like Goodyear and all, they may make 7 or 8 different tires that aren't Goodyear tires, but they're still made in the same factory Goodyear's made. It's made by the same people that are making a Goodyear. I mean, it's just not the. It's kind of like, people don't realize that when you go and buy T.G. Lee milk, they run T.G. Lee milk, Publix milk, and Winn-Dixie milk down the same line.
Right.
They run.
That's like I used to own a gas station, and folks, gas comes from, you go down to Tampa and get,
No, there's Dextron in it and everything. Calm down, Matt. Now, I see the commercials.
That's, well, actually, all the fuel is the same. That each company might have their little additives that they put in, which is, okay.
Yeah, I remember the first time my dad, when I was a little kid, Gates, a fuel company. People don't realize Gate gas stations, they think it's just gas stations. Actually, it's a big fuel company in Jacksonville that happens to have gas stations. And, Dad had Sunoco stations. And Sunoco would bring gas, but every now and then the Gate truck would pull up and bring gas. I go, Dad. He goes, son, Gate was cheaper this week.
So he was an independent.
He was an independent. He sold Sunoco. He had Sunoco pumps and everything, but he was not. This was in the 70s. He was not under contract to Sunoco.
Right.
And I said, why go with Sunoco? And he went with Sunoco because Sunoco and Unocal then were the two racing.
Right.
And so a lot of Unocal, a lot of. What were they, 76 stations?
Yep.
A lot of 76 stations, a lot of Sunoco stations in the 70s, because, especially in the South, because NASCAR, that was the gas they used.
That's it.
People go, how'd Goodyear get to be such a big tire? It ran at the Indianapolis 500.
Yeah. Yep. And talking about tires, there are some a lot of times some of the off brands that Goodyear, Michelin, and whatnot make, they'll actually have a better warranty than the Goodyear tire will have.
I'm sure. Now, when you go in, I always go in and when I buy wipers, guy goes, you want economy wipers, good wipers, or the best wipers in the building? And I always get the middle of the road. I don't get the economy and I don't get the best because I run the bug washer that's got the Rain-X in it, so that helps. But tires are a lot along that same way. You got economy tires, you got top of the line tires, but some of those mid-range tires are perfectly good tires.
Yeah, we sell some really good tires, and they don't break the bank. They're it's not that they're cheap, they're just not as expensive as some of the brand name tires.
If I put Goodyear touring tires, call back, caller 622-9622 is the number to call if you want to be a part of the program. If I put actual Goodyear or Michelin name brand touring tires on a Cadillac, it'd be $1,000.
Yep.
I do it now with the secondary brands for $500.
Yep.
But it still ain't cheap. $500.
Nope.
I don't know anybody that thinks, unless you're Elon Musk, thinks $500 is cheap. But it's still a whole lot cheaper, and the tire's just as good. The warranty I have on this touring tire I'm using for the same mileage tire that Goodyear sells, like you said, the warranty's better on this tire I'm using than it would be on the Goodyear tire with the same mileage.
That's right.
Good morning. You're on with Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Auto.
Good morning, guys.
Morning, Hugh.
You're talking about rotating every other oil change. How often do you think you should have an alignment on your vehicle?
Okay, so when you go in, and let's say you bring your car in, we're going to do a rotation, or even if you come in for an alignment, for an oil change, well, we'll look at the tires, because especially when you're rotating them, because you got your hands on them. So if you see something, if you see the outside wearing funny, you see the inside wearing funny, then it may be time to have an alignment. So, or let's say it's been a couple years, you might want to have an alignment. Here's the deal. So unless there's something like wore out, alignments are pretty sturdy nowadays. We don't have as many parts on the front end of these cars like we used to with drag links and center links and idle arms and pitman arms. We don't have a lot of that stuff anymore. So we have upper and lower ball joints, and we have tie rods.
Less to go wrong.
Less to wear out, and it's a lot of times. So if you have play in the front end, well, if you need an idle arm or a tie rod end or a ball joint, well then you're going to have an alignment at that point. So as long as the steering wheel's going straight, you're driving straight down the road, the tires are wearing okay, I'm going to say you're pretty good. Something starts changing where it pulls to the right or pulls to the left. A lot of times people will come in and want an alignment, and because it's pulling to the right or left, and a lot of times all we do is rotate the tires, and we fix the pull issue.
Yeah.
And alignment stuff, I have a guy, I've told him 100 times, you don't have to align your truck twice a year, but this guy's going to have an alignment twice a year. And that's it. And he's not going to go to sleep unless he's had his alignment,
Well, Sonny's a good guy that way.
Yeah. How important is proper air pressure in your tires?
Well, I think it's if for fuel economy, for tire wear, taking care of it goes back to taking care of what you have. So if you take care of your car, keep the proper air in the tires, the tire's going to last longer, it's going to ride better.
Your gas mileage will be better.
Gas mileage is going to be better, and that also could be a reason why you might be wanting alignment because the car's pulling, and it may be a difference in air pressure. But here again, most of the cars today have TPMS sensor systems on them, and I can just push a button and I can monitor all the pressures and all my tires.
I can look at mine, and I can push a button and look at mine. I did it this morning to make sure they were all good before I got out on the rainy road. Thanks for the call, Hugh. Got out on the rainy roads, and I had ridden about 2 miles, so I thought it probably had enough heat in it where it would register. They were all at 34 pounds.
Yep.
My tires called for 35 pounds, so I was within a pound,
Yep.
so I didn't feel like that was that big a deal. So, but you know, my test, and my dad taught me couple things he did teach me. You know, he did teach me to tell the difference how, and I don't know if it works these days or not, but I remember when I was a kid, he showed me how to tell whether it was the alternator or the battery. Take the positive cable off after the car's cranked. If it shuts off, it's the alternator.
Right.
If it doesn't shut off, it's the battery.
Right.
I don't know if that's still true today or not.
Pretty much.
But he told me with alignment, and this was back when, you know, there was a lot of different things going, rocker arms, everything. He said with alignment, let the wheel go on a road where there's no cars around anything. Let the wheel go. If it doesn't pull to the right or to the left, if it stays straight, your alignment's in good shape.
Yeah. And that's but here, so one of the things and
the steering wheel's can't have the steering wheel at 2 instead of 12.
Right.
You got to have the steering wheel at 12 and it not pull left to right. If your steering wheel's at 2 and it's not pulling left to right, that's still a problem.
Right. At least your steering wheel's off. So I mean, and one of the things we got to consider in here down in the South. So back in the day when they had shims and they had all the, you know, the drag links and pitman arms and idle arms and all that. So when I was working at the dealerships, we'd have a lot of people complaining of cars pulling to the right. All the new cars pull to the right. And the reason that they pull to the right is the alignment specifications that they were set up at the factory was not conducive to the roads that we have in Florida. See, in Florida, we have a heavy crown on the road.
So water runs off.
Water runs off. So therefore, we would have to set up the caster and camber a little bit different in the South than they do up in the North. So now back then in those days, if you let go of the steering wheel, every car would just drift to the right.
Because the road made you drift to the right.
Because the road made us drift to the right. So we would have specifications, even though the factory says, I want you to set, these are the specifications, plus or minus.
Right.
You know, and so we would just know here, this is what we need to do to make the car drive straight down the road.
How much does speed bumps and stuff like that factor into knocking your car out of alignment? These days, back in the day, it mattered.
Yes.
These days,
I mean, don't take.
If you're rolling, I'm not taking it doing it at 45.
Right, exactly.
I'm talking about you using the speed bumps or all. You know, when it says slow down to 15, there's a speed table coming up or something.
Right.
You do that exact thing, or when you're in a parking lot, you roll over them slowly. Are they detrimental to your alignment anymore?
Nah. Nope.
Because I know they used to be detrimental to your alignment.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff that could affect the alignment. You know, when they had
potholes, all kinds of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Now, how much does losing a weight on a tire and everything? How much did that affect?
Well, you'll be the first to know, because if it starts shaking,
right?
You know, then
and that's what sometimes the shake is caused just by a weight being out of a tire being out of balance because of weights and everything.
Yep. And a lot of times, what we see in tires is that I'd say the majority of times, if we have a vibration and we have more tire issues than we do alignment issues.
Right.
Okay. And we have more tire issues than we do with dealing with vibrations. So, and even like the way that like if you look at a lot of the new cars, you don't see weights on the outside of the wheel anymore.
No.
There's not even the lip to put a weight.
Right. The weights go on the inside nowadays.
No. Right. And so they're a little bit more. They're a little bit more complicated to balance, because now you're using sticky weights and all that stuff. So if you don't clean that surface, if you don't really get it nice and clean, we deal with a lot of weights that come off and vibrations.
Well, now you got machine, you put the tire in, it spins, it checks the weights and all. I mean, don't you miss the days when you had that little bubble thing and you set the tire on?
No, I don't miss that day at all, brother.
You know how many rear end whoopings I got because going out there messing with that leveler, that tire? Because, you know, it was gold. Now you got the machines that do it for you. But before, it was an art getting those tires balanced and everything.
Yeah.
With the mercury ball that moved around. Man, I'd go out there messing with that, sitting on it there. My dad would come out there and wear me out. Because I didn't realize, you know, when he bought that brand new, it was $100. In 1970, 71, $100 was a bunch of money. Just like they don't give away those machines that when you put them into balancing machines now, the computerized balancing machines, they're not cheap.
No, they're not cheap.
Right. Well, I always thought it was just cool because I'd go out there messing with the arm and everything, moving.
No.
Oh, yeah. Son, I tore out the brakes, got the brakes tore off of me more than once messing with that balancer. More.
You'd have thought you'd have learned something.
Nah,
Tom.
you seen this head?
Yeah, nah,
hard.
Yeah,
hard. But that's how far we've come. It used to be like you see on a camera or something. It was a little leveler ball, and you would have to get it with inside the little circle and everything.
That ain't that.
That was a pain.
Oh, I remember doing alignments with magnets on. You'd stick it on the hub. Yeah, and a little bubble in that.
Yeah, to level it out.
You level it out.
So, but alignments now have come a long way, so you don't have to do them as often. But with I always hear this phrase: tires are cupping. What does that mean?
So cupping can come from a couple things. So that means that there's high spots and low spots on the tire. Right?
So it creates a cup.
Right. So there's divots in the tread. So that usually is most of the time that has to do with balancing issues. The tires aren't balanced, causing a vibration. So the tire's doing this as it's going down the road.
And it's eating different. The rubber's getting eaten differently.
Or we have a suspension issue. So we could have a bad shock, a strut, something like that, and it's not absorbing anymore. So now that's allowing the tire to do that. And or like if you're a truck guy and you pull a trailer, a lot of times if you have a big trailer, causes the front end to be light, and that front end is constantly putting pressure down and up. That can cause it to also cup too. But that's another reason why you should rotate your tires. That's part of keeping that tire, giving it full.
How many people? And I know this is going to be a crazy low answer, but how many people do you think actually understand how to properly tow things with their trucks or vehicles?
No, I don't think. Hey, I just hook up and go, brother.
But you know what your truck, you know what your truck's weight limit is and everything.
Yeah, I do.
And you exceed it. You exceed it at times.
Yeah.
But I mean, how and what kind of strain? That puts a strain directly on the transmission.
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
Because I remember remember the S10 Blazers.
Oh yeah.
The 6-cylinder S10 Blazers. We put a 5-foot by 8-foot trailer.
That's too much, bro.
Open air trailer. Okay, open air trailer.
Yep.
Little wood plank trailer with a Honda Helix 250 motor scooter on the back.
Yeah.
And we brought it from Atlanta to Statesboro. Time we got to Statesboro, guy's transmission was shot.
Smoked.
Shot. And I thought, this is a S10 Blazer. It's supposed to be an off-the-road vehicle. And here we have tore the transmission up in 230 miles, pulling a Honda Helix motor scooter in a little bitty trailer.
Yep.
But it ate that transmission up because the transmission wasn't built to pull that. And I mean, I guarantee you that trailer, the Honda Helix and everything total may have been 800 pounds.
Well, that was also back. That was probably what, in the 80s?
1989.
Yeah. So GM was having some. That was a 700 R4 transmission, and they were having some issues with that transmission anyway.
Oh, were they?
So just adding another 800 pounds to it. But so when you were pulling back in the day, back in the 80s and 90s, if we knew somebody was pulling a trailer, a camper, a boat, whatever, man, we begged them, please get an external cooler, because the cooler for the transmission is inside your radiator. So stop and think about this. So
that's a long way it's got to go to get cool.
Well, and it's good that it has that
okay.
long, you know what I'm saying? But here's the thing. Most of these cars have a 195-degree thermostat, which means the car's going to actually run, after the thermostat's fully open, around 210 degrees. So now inside the radiator is 210 degrees. That's the water temperature that we're going to cool through.
Almost boiling.
Almost. And now we're going to cool the transmission to the 210 degrees. Now, here's what they've learned. They've learned if we can keep a transmission under 175 degrees, it quadruples the life of the transmission.
4 times longer life.
4 times longer life if we can lower the temperature to 175
So
degrees.
the new cars, transmissions have their own coolers.
So now, yes. So it took most of the manufacturers a few decades to figure this out. we were putting 15,000 GVW Hayden external transmission coolers on everything.
Right.
If you're pulling something, you have to do this. And so
if we'd have put an external cooler on that transmission, he'd have probably been able to pull it.
He probably would have been okay. But they were still having issues with that transmission.
Well, lucky for me, my buddy Kip, he was out of a Blazer till they got the transmission fixed. My Honda Helix was fine. I got on that motor scooter and rode all over campus. He's like, you tore my transmission up. I go, I didn't tear your transmission up. I asked you, can this Blazer pull this trailer at all? And you said, sure, no problem. I took you at your word. He was so angry with that. He wouldn't talk to me for like 3 months, told me I owed him for the fixing the transmission and everything. I asked you if it could pull it. His exact reply was, man, this is a Chevrolet Blazer. It can pull anything.
Yeah, right.
That was his exact response. And and he was like, I don't know why it blew it up. I pull my John boat with it all the time. Well, the mechanic heard him say that. We're talking. The mechanic goes, yeah, you pull your John boat from your house 3 miles to the river and 3 miles back. You don't pull it 230 miles from Atlanta.
Yeah. Yeah, we actually had back in the 90s, talking about Alan Jackson, the country singer, he had a GMC truck. He didn't have a Mercury. He had a GMC truck. And he went down to Fort Lauderdale and he bought a big boat.
Right.
So he's bringing a boat to wherever it is that he was going. He got to Ocala.
Didn't have transmission.
No more transmission left in his truck.
From Fort Lauderdale.
From Fort Lauderdale.
That's 4 hours. Yeah. No, back then, because it was 55 miles an hour, it was probably 6 hours.
No more transmission. And this truck only had probably into 20,000 miles on it.
So it was under warranty.
Oh, it was under warranty.
Yeah.
The only problem is that he was in a big hurry, and there was no transmissions available.
Oh, no. What did he do?
We got him hooked up.
You got him hooked up? Did you put an external cooler on the new one?
Yeah, we sure did.
Did you get free tickets out of it? You get to go to a concert?
We didn't get tickets, but we got a bunch of stuff.
You got a bunch of stuff. Good, good for you. 622-9622 is the number to call. You got about a minute left in the show with Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Auto. So how close are the tire manufacturers these days to getting it dead accurate on the mileage? Because, like, I got 40,000-mile touring tires, and those back ones that are on the back, I'm at about 38,000. And they got, within the next month and a half, I got to replace them. And it'll be right at 40,000 miles.
Well, see, but I believe you've done the due diligence because you kept the right air pressure in your tires.
Right.
So you have to take care of your tires in order for you to get those miles
But still, they're pretty good at 40,000, they're done.
Right. Well, they're saying
you're not getting 45, 46 out of them hardly.
Uh-uh.
And has that always been the case, or is that with the new tires?
I think that's pretty much been the case. They rate them, they do the research and everything, and it's proper people. You know, people that take. I'm not a good tire care of her.
Matt, tell people where they can find you.
You can give me a call at 352-690-1993 or come by and see us at 1800 Northwest 10th Street.
That is Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Auto. He's here every Tuesday giving you auto repair with personal care with Sunrise Auto. Matt, talk to you next week.
Thanks, sir.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to y'all.
We'll be right back.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
California officials filed a lawsuit against Walmart Monday, alleging the retail giant illegally dumped hazardous waste in state landfills. The suit alleges Walmart unlawfully disposed of roughly 160,000 pounds a year of pesticides, batteries, and various other toxic corrosive wastes. Walmart said it will fight the lawsuit, which they call unjustified. As Democrats continue to admonish Senator Joe Manchin and his decision not to back the massive social spending bill, a.k.a. Build Back Better, it should be noted Joe Manchin plus 50 other sitting Republican senators said this bill is bad for America. Senator Manchin on Metro News Monday describes the Biden White House and the tactics they used to sway his vote.
Surely to God we can move one person. Surely we can badger and beat one person up. Surely we can get enough protesters to make that person uncomfortable enough. They'll just say, okay, I'll vote for anything, just quit.
USA Radio News.
You've heard that supply lines are down or moving slow. And that most everything costs more these days. but good news. High-quality Sunny Bay products are in stock and ready to ship now because they're made in the USA. Like our extra long neck heating pads, they provide soothing relief to painful sore necks and backs, are microwavable and come in a variety of colors and patterns. What a great gift! An extra long neck heating pad from Sunny Bay, also available in lavender scented. Buy now in time for the holidays and avoid any shipping delays. Available on Amazon, Walmart, Etsy, and sunny-bay.com. Just search for Sunny Bay Heating Pad. They're great for men or women, are reusable and easy to clean. So this year, give the gift of pain relief. An extra long neck wrap from Sunny Bay. Remember, just search for Sunny Bay Heating Pads. Order now when our stock is high and shipping is fast. And happy holidays from Sunny Bay.
Visit the Appleton Museum of Art for a Dickens Christmas, the Urban Family Holiday Exhibition. On view through January 9th. This festive annual display features beautiful themed trees, the beloved Dickens Village, Santas and nutcrackers from around the world, and much more. On the second floor, see trees decorated by community partners. The Appleton is located on East Silver Springs Boulevard in Ocala. For more information, visit appletonmuseum.org.
Dad's service to our country is something we're so proud of. He made a difference and set a great example. Now it's our turn to honor the sacrifices he made for our family and this country. As veteran specialists, Hires Baxley Funeral Service helps us celebrate Dad's life and can help you too. Hires Baxley is here for you during your time of need or when planning for the future. For more information, call 352-484-0891 or visit hiresbaxley.com/choice.
The Ocala Golf Club, one of Ocala's premier golf courses, from its pristine 18-hole course layout to its amazing pro shop. Jason Linhart and the staff at Ocala Golf offer everything that you need for your golf outing. That's the Ocala Golf Club. Experience country club style golf at municipal prices. You won't go wrong with the Ocala Golf Club. Call them for a tee time today, 352-401-6917.
Get it for less at the DIY Home Center outlet. Get top quality real wood cabinets the same or less than the big box stores are selling the cheap stuff. And that's not all. Drywall screws big box stores are $6.47 a pound. At DIY, only $4.99. Plus, DIY has the largest selection of mobile home parts and accessories anywhere. From carpet to doors, get the DIY supplies you need for less. The DIY Home Center outlet. We are your building material closeout store. 2191 Northwest 10th Street, just 2 miles east of I-75.
Howdy folks, RL here for Dairy Queen again to tell you about what's hot and what's not. Dairy Queen has some of the best char-grilled chicken breasts on earth, as well as their chicken breast salad. And the burgers are exceptional, cooked on a real grill for the best flavor and less fat. And for dessert, blizzards are unequaled. Personally, banana split is my all-time favorite. Dairy Queen Silver Springs, where we always treat you like kings and queens.
Shamrock Security Systems, 629-3223. Shamrock Security Systems is located here in Ocala, Florida. Shamrock Security Systems is a top-rated alarm company offering 24/7 monitoring, video surveillance, fire and flood protection. You'll sleep a little better once the job is done. Shamrock Security Systems for over 31 years. 629-3223. Get a 100% free quote from Shamrock Security. 629-3223.
Now you've done it. Have you lost your mind? He's back. And you're listening